What is up, everybody? Appreciate you for tuning in. We're back with the On the Ball podcast. We got a full house tonight. Look, we're going to make this a big special episode because free agency got underway. We're going to talk about the moves that happened. I don't know like you, but there's a few moments in there where there's so much going on. I couldn't keep up with it, but we're going to kind of break down a lot of the big moves that happened today. We're also going to start looking at mock drafts. It is mock draft season. Some people are a little bit better at it than others, but we're going to take a look at a couple tonight and see how we all feel about kind of I guess, the average writer or, whatever their consensus on how the first round will look. And if we think some of the moves from today might change some of those plans. So before we get into all that, right next to me, we got not guarding the two, he's guarding the three. Brett, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. Let's say looking forward to talking some sports today.
Okay. Hey, this is the place where we like to do that. What's going on, Jory? And hi. Uh, upper right, rocking the Giants gear. Is that a Brewers hat too? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Ian. Look, learning about you. So you're a Brewers fan too.
Yes.
Okay. I respect that. Y'all gave me Caleb Durbin. I'm not complaining.
Yeah.
How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm good. I can't complain. You got the Jackson Dart on.
Yeah.
I like Jackson Dart's game, so I'm not going to say anything about that. Upper left, making his return to the show. My guy Dylan. Dylan, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing good, doing good. I'm excited to be back. My favorite time of the year. Got the draft hype, March Madness. Love all of that going on. I'm excited to be back.
Absolutely. Yeah, look, anybody who's ever tuned into the show before, they understand. Dylan loves this stuff, and March Madness as well. So we'll touch on that a little bit more probably next week. Right next to me, got a special guest on the show. Man knows his stuff. CEO, man, how you doing? Ready to talk some mock drafts and some free agency?
I'm just glad that free agency's cooled down. I've been doing a free agency tracker all day since pretty much since before the tampering period started at 9. And it's just been one thing after another. Every time I would update the page, I would refresh my Twitter feed and there'd be 4 more signs. I'm like, damn, I gotta keep going. It was like 5 hours straight. I was just sitting at my computer typing. I'm just glad that I got some downtime. I can talk some mock drafts, go over some free agency.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, look, there's a lot. Like you said, if you missed a refresher or two for a couple minutes there, 3, 4, 5 moves would happen, and yeah, you just find yourself behind. I do think it's kind of slowed down a little bit now, so we probably are talking about it at the right time. But look, if something happens on show, one of you in the chat could throw it in the chat. If I get the notification, I'll bring it up as well. Let's see. Oh, what's going on,
Yeah,
Jason?
right before we started, the Raiders signed Nakobe Dean and Quay Walker, like right as we all joined in here.
Seattle
just
re-signed
signed
Shaheed.
Rashid Shaheed.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Look, the NFL's got a lot of money, and they're spending it like crazy. Love to see.
I don't know what to do with it.
I was at work. Next thing I know, Linderbaum signed for $81 million. That definitely was a surprise to see $81 million for a center. But hey, the Raiders are trying to protect their prized possession in Mendoza. We already know Mendoza's gonna be the number 1 pick. It is what it is. But all right, so let's go ahead. Let's look at a mock draft. Have some fun with it. I got the Athletic pulled. So I will kind of serve as commissioner here, read off their picks, and get your reaction to them as they have it. Number 1 pick, Fernando Mendoza. Like I said, we don't need to spend too much time on that. Nobody's shocked by that. The Jets at 2, Arvell Reese, linebacker out of Ohio State.
Yeah, that's about what I expected. That's where most people are mocking him right now.
In my personal mock, that's where I have him as well too. I mean, kind of when you kill the combine like that, already being the linebacker prospect you are, and how the Jets were very bad defensively last year. You want to go out and take probably the best player there or the most versatile player, and that's arguably Arvell Reese.
Okay. I mean, Ian Brett, I'm assuming not too surprised by that with the Jets.
Yeah, not too surprised. I could definitely see them going maybe like Ruben Bain here, but it feels like they got to go defense with this pick.
Yeah, with all the edges they signed today, it's making it feel like that's opening it up for Reese to start him at linebacker, learn a little bit from Mario Davis, and then like gradually move to edge, kind of like how Micah Parsons did. That's what I think is the most ideal thing for him. I would like him at the Jets at two. Like talent wise, it feels just a tad rich for me, but I don't hate that fit at all. It's not too bad to start. 2 picks in, we don't hate it yet.
Okay, that's fine. Cardinals at 3. David Bailey, edge out of
We've
Texas.
already fallen off the rails.
All right, so I mean, what's your issue with David Bailey?
My biggest issue with David Bailey is that like a lot of what he was doing in college doesn't really feel that translatable to me. Like I don't think he's gonna be getting a lot of like these like tee off opportunities. And he's not that really good against the run. Like he doesn't have very good bend. He's not that flexible in his torso and things. And like he's not necessarily weak, but he's also not very big. He's only like 250. So like whenever he's in the run game, he can get pretty I want to say pounded necessarily, but it's hard for him to hold his ground. Like instead of resetting the line of scrimmage at 1 yard behind the line, he's getting pushed back a yard or two, and he'll still make tackles and get stops every now and then. But like it's small things that like I feel like a 2 yard tackle he's making in college is going to be like a 5 yard tackle in the NFL, or just getting completely blown off his spot more often. I think he projects closer to like a DPR to start, and as he gets stronger, maybe he can become a 3 down lineman. For me, he's more like a late first, early second guy. And like in my most recent mock, I got him going like 14, just because the Raiders need an edge, and he does have some pass rushing juice. But I don't know, 3 just feels a little rich, especially when like Ruben Bain and Sonny Styles are still on the board. Just more talented guys, in my opinion.
I mean, does anybody else want to jump in? Thoughts on?
I mean, I
Bailey?
agree, especially with Arizona not being in a position to really afford, a project guy, a potential guy. They're not really that team to also build those type of players as of late. You think you might want to go with someone who would be a little more surefire, someone who could just juice up that team right away, and that would be someone like a Ruben Bain. Nothing, Bailey can be good, and some of his stuff could come over and translate, and he could be a better edge rusher, but for the Cardinals to take him, it's kind of a big risk for a guy that's you're not set up to really take either.
Yeah, Brett, Ian, want to jump in?
I mean, I could even see them taking like Caleb Downs here too. Caleb Downs wouldn't be a bad pick for them either. I mean, they're getting older at safety too, and he can kind of fill in at linebacker too a little bit and kind of drop down to be like a nickel. So it wouldn't be bad for Caleb to go here either. But I mean, Ruben Baines, Caleb, either one of those two would have been a better pick than David Bailey.
Okay. Let's see. All right, so 4, Tennessee Titans, Sonny Styles, linebacker out of Ohio State. Now, see, you just talked about Sonny Styles would be a guy you could have seen the Cardinals take. So fit with Tennessee. How do you like that one? With what they've done today, like Franklin Myers they brought in, as well as others, we know they got defensive coach. That we've seen that these defensive coaches love fortifying their side of the ball first, and then working over to the offense. Even though they did sign one Dale Robinson as well. So Styles to the Titans. How do you like that fit?
Yeah, if I remember correctly, I actually mocked Styles. Yeah, I mocked Styles to the Titans, and not my most recent today, but the one I did last month. I had him going to the Titans. I don't hate that at all, especially with because they've got a lot of like corners and then defensive linemen, and I still think they could use like an edge one guy, which is what I think Ruben Bain could be, especially playing next to Jeffrey Simmons and JFM. But I don't hate Styles at all. I think he has all pro upside as a linebacker. I think it would be one of those rare guys that can come in day one and be like a strong starter, because linebacker is hard to translate. So it'll take him probably 2 or 3 years to be like all pro level. But I think he can be a quality starter day one, like how we saw with the Browns with Carson Schlesinger this year, but like even better in coverage. I don't hate that at all. That's a solid pick.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a guy who would, if he went into the top 5, on draft night, it wouldn't shock anyone at all. I mean, he absolutely killed the combine, was great in college. People loved him, just after that performance. So seeing him jump up to a team like the Titans, like you said, who are will be a very defensive heavy team this year, just kind of seems like a match made in heaven, with getting a bunch of corners, a little bit more on the defensive line, kind of getting a good linebacker that can be that captain in the middle would be something really good for them.
So I think Brett and Ian, I would ask this. I know it's kind of early to really kind of grade out free agency classes and all that. But from what Tennessee's done so far early on, what are you thinking about what the direction that they're going in with Saleh and Dayball and those guys? Do you like what they've done today? Like to see them do a little bit more? Like where are you thinking?
I mean, I like how they've kind of like filled in a little bit of their holes on defense with like Alontae Taylor and Cordell Flott, and even getting John Franklin Myers. They're getting a lot of key pieces that they've kind of not had the past couple of seasons. And it's not that their defense has been horrible either. I mean, their defense has kind of been holding its own, but because of how bad the offense has been, it's not been able to necessarily translate this, show that this defense is good. They're gassed a lot of the times. But adding somebody like Sonny Styles in there, mixing in with Cedric Gray, I mean, that's a good combo. That's a good young linebacker core for them. And I really like it.
Brett, what do you think about the direction of the Titans?
I think they're headed in a great direction. They're a team that looks like they're, getting solid. You get a good defensive mind back there. Plugged in a good amount of holes today. So I'm excited to see where they do going forward.
All right. So Ian, this one's right for you. Number 5, the Giants take Caleb Downs, safety out of Ohio State. How do you like that, Ian? For your squad.
I like it a lot. I mean, we've had a little bit of safety issues the past couple of years. Ever since letting go of Xavier McKinney, we haven't really been able to have a solid safety. So I like Caleb Downs. Did well in college. Should be great in the NFL too.
Okay. So like a CEO?
Yeah, Caleb Downs is actually, I haven't released it yet. It'll be coming out next week, but on my big board, he's actually number 1 on it. And he does have the torn meniscus that was uncovered at the combine, which gives you a little bit of worry. But at the end of the day, this is a guy that's been not just a 3-year starter, but a 3-year superstar. He either just turned 21 or is about to turn 21 years old. Can't even legally drink yet, and he's been one of the best players in football, regardless of position. Leading defenses, coached by Nick Saban as an 18-year-old. He can do it all. He's one of the most fundamentally sound players I've ever watched, and I've been scouting football for about 5-6 years now. And it's a guy that's hard to pass up. It kind of reminds me of 2022, where it was a weaker class. There was some guys at the top, but you knew this wasn't gonna be a really strong class. And there's just this outlier safety prospect, borderline generational. Well, he's the best player in this class, but he might fall down for a bullshit reason. And then everyone's gonna look back and how did this guy fall to 14? How is this guy available at 10? And I would like it if the Giants took him. I've also seen a lot of people talking about them taking Carnell Tate to get another receiver there, or taking one of the linebackers like Reese or Styles. But I would be happy with Downs if I was the Giants, especially since they just lost Cordell Flott, who was playing the slot for him a lot. Newbin hasn't been quite the guy you want for the high second-round pick in year 3 or going into year 3. So I would be happy with if I was a Giants fan.
Okay. Dylan, your thoughts on Caleb Downs?
I mean, I like it. I mean, you look at last year, going into this year's draft class, being who are some of these top prospects? The number 1 name that hasn't changed is Caleb Downs. He's the same guy who was on people's big board from last year going into this year, and now that the draft's up, he's still up there. I don't think that injury should drop him. I mean, like CEO was saying, he was playing, a 3 years just superstar. And that's not a type of prospect you pass up. The Giants are kind of in that big market. They're looking for a big name. You got a big coach. So why don't you just go take the best player out there in Caleb Downs? Just seems like a match made in heaven for him.
All right, Brett.
If he dropped 51 spots, I wouldn't be mad. Heck, I'd take 52.
Yeah, he's a safety. Yeah, positional value. Yeah, let him drop to 32. We'll take him.
Right? No, yeah. He's just such a fundamentally solid player, just all around. Can do pretty much a little bit of everything that you need. Just, I love, I like Caleb. So if the Giants took him here, I think I'd be happy. Not happier than Ian, but I'd be happy.
No Daniel Jones for the Giants.
They should redraft Daniel Jones with the 5th pick.
Yeah.
Daniel Jones might make some money in Indy. 6.
Yeah, you see, he asked for $50 million. Yeah.
Look, shoot for the moon. You never know. You might hit a cloud. I don't know.
Yeah, Cole's tried to give him $30 million. He said, "Nah, that's not enough. I'm a superstar."
Yeah. Well, part of that is, look, the Colts, they're moving off of Anthony Richardson because he wants out. He's kind of like, you either pay me or what are you going to do at quarterback? And if the Colts jump at that, I'm sure a lot of NFL fans, especially in the AFC South, would probably be standing up and applauding them giving that kind of money to Daniel Jones. But he's trying to play some leverage. We'll see how it works out. I think it's crazy, but all it takes is one team to agree and give you that kind of money.
Yeah, let's hope for the sake of any Colts fans watching, they don't do that.
Well, look, they gave Alec Pierce 114. I think a lot of people were kind of surprised by that number.
Yeah. Because I mean, there was talks he was going to get like mid to high 20s. 30 mil is a lot though for a like deep threats only. It's rare to see a go ball specialist get that much money. And I know the market's getting inflated at receiver, but still, there was better or similar quality receivers getting like 10, 15 mil less a year.
Yeah.
You got more than Mike Evans.
Yeah. I mean, Mike Evans, we know it's age and the injury history obviously is working against him. But if I'm going into next year, because I'm a big Mike Evans fan, I'll take my chances with Mike Evans. All right, so the Browns at 6. Spencer Fano, tackle from Utah.
Oh yeah, this is a fun one.
You got to protect your prized possession in Shedeur Sanders, man.
Is that the guy to protect him though? Is my question. I don't know. I don't know if he's going to protect him too well.
You got to watch what you say now. There's Browns fans in the chat. They'll be listening carefully because they are all bought in to Shedeur Sanders. They don't want no Dylan Gabriel. Get the Deshaun Watson guy off my team. It's about Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah, I agree. Give Shedeur a year. See if he's the guy. There's no harm in it. He either sucks and you draft a quarterback next year, or he's good and you don't have to worry about quarterback. This is low risk, high reward. But sounds
like you wouldn't let Deshaun Watson even compete for the job.
I wouldn't let him in my facility probably. I don't know. They just got to keep him around for 2 more years, and they can banish him. They can exile him to St.
Yeah, basically, I think this year for sure. I think next year they could move off of him. Might be a little bit hard, but I think next year is probably the year that they finally do it.
Yeah, because I saw if they tried to move off of him this year, the dead cap's still over $100 million. I think if they try to move off of him next year, even it's still a crazy number, 80 mil or something like that. I think after 27 is when they have to move off of him, going into 28.
Dolphins are eating $99 million on Tua, so Which we'll talk about.
Yeah, but they have more cap room now.
Yeah, no, that's true.
I'd say might as well get out of that as much dead cap as you can if they're not going anywhere.
Right.
Smart.
Yeah.
I mean, the tackle, whatever. I feel like you got to obviously get the offensive line straight. And like I said, I think the biggest question for the Browns is who do they want at quarterback and who are they going to actually kind of go down the road of acting like is the starting quarterback. I still think the Deshaun Watson stuff is weird that they're making it seem like if he's healthy, he'll compete for it. even though he's not going to be there long term. So it's almost like, are you wasting your time in doing that? But
I mean, I assume you at least give them a chance because
on their investment.
Competition never hurts, you know.
That's true. Yeah.
Hey, look, you know what we need to do? We need to do it already. We'll trade the Browns Anthony Richardson, even more competition. Let's create the most mid quarterback room of all time.
Worse than mid. That's an all-time stinker right there.
Let's see. All right, so 7. The Washington Commanders. Ruben Bain, edge out of Miami.
Honestly, I think that might be a steal at 7.
That seems like a Dan Quinn kind of pick.
Yeah, and they just got what's his name? Odafe Owe.
Yep.
In free agency. I think that'd be a good pairing right there. George says I want Bain. I do too.
Yeah. So she's a Titans fan. Which you did say you wouldn't mind seeing Bain to the Titans. So Jordan, if you did miss it, they have the Titans taking Sonny Styles from Ohio State, the linebacker. Let's see. All right, so 8. Jeremiah Love, running back Notre Dame to the Saints.
That was definitely made before the free agency got heating up.
Yeah. Because, I swear, everybody assumed that was the absolute perfect spot for Jeremiah Love. But like I said, a lot of stuff's gone on. Yeah, probably not going to happen like that again. But I don't know. Like, what are your thoughts on taking running backs in the top 10?
Running backs matter, baby. I think that not enough running backs get drafted high enough. Ashton Genty should have went top 3 last year. I'm drawing, but I'll say this: Love is gonna be in my top 10 on my board. But like when I'm going through and I'm looking at like each team at each pick, especially now that the Saints and Chiefs just threw big bags at running backs, the only team that could realistically take him in the top 10 would be either the Titans at 4 and the Commanders at 8. And like, yeah, the Titans, I guess, could take him, but at the same time, that still feels a little rich, even just for like his talent level, not even considering the fact he's a running back. And then you got to consider that he is a running back. And like, wouldn't you rather just get like a number 1 receiver like Tyson or Tate to, or even Lemon to help out Cam Ward? Because it obviously they don't have like a great running back room, and I also don't think it's bad enough that you need to take a running back at 4.
So here's a question from the Titans fan:
Is he better than Tony Pollard? Probably, but
Tony Pollard's been effective for them the past couple of years. So, I guess if you're the Titans, you would feel okay with another year of Pollard, and if you had to get a running back later. Probably.
Yeah, go get Lacey, what's his name? Mark Fletcher or Ahmad Hardy next year. Because those will all be first round level backs. But is he better than Tony Pollard? Probably. Like he'll probably be better next year than Tony Pollard will be. But at the same time, you gotta consider like the opportunity cost. Well, would it be better to have Love, who will probably be like the 12th, 13th best running back in the league next year, versus Pollard, who will be like the 22nd best back? Or would you rather have Sony Styles, who'll be like a top 15 linebacker, or Caleb Downs, who will probably be a top 5 safety, or Arvell Reese, who will be able to play linebacker and edge, which would be really valuable on the Titans? So, I mean, like, if they took Love, I wouldn't like hate on the pick endlessly. Like, I would kind of understand it, but at the same time, if you want to take Jeremiah Love, I would recommend trading down. Because like I said, no one else in the top 10 is really going to take him. And I doubt very many people are going to want to trade up for a running back. Not in this day and age.
She said now that Arden Key is gone, she'd rather have the linebacker edge player.
Yeah, that's fair. But, I mean, they did just sign a few edges. Like, JFM's pretty much replacing Arden Key. They both do a similar role of being, like, edge rushers that play in the interior on pass rushing downs. That are like versatile pass rushers that like aren't that good in the run. And JFM's been in the run game anyway. So I mean, like, I would also still want to take like an edge rusher just because they don't have a number 1 guy yet. But at the same time, if they don't, you have Jeffrey Simmons, who's like an elite pass rusher as a defensive tackle anyway. So it's not like crucial, but I would recommend it personally over a running back. Unless that running back was like Ashton Genty level or like Saquon level as a prospect. I don't think Love's quite that level. I think it's like a tier or two below.
Yeah, I mean, Brett, Ian, how do you feel about running backs in the top 10?
I think it depends on the team relative to quality of running back. Like I think if you're like a generational like caliber, talent of running back, then it might be worth it. But also, you have to kind of be ready yourself because at the end of the day, even a elite running back isn't going to uplift a full team. So I do think that they definitely are worth they can be worth top 10 picks, but it really needs to be the right player.
That's fair.
I feel like if you're a running back away, that's when you take a running back in the top 10. Otherwise, if you don't, you have to prioritize that guy to build around, and you have to be able to stay put with it. That's something that the Giants didn't do, and we kept with Daniel Jones versus keeping Saquon, and that kind of sent us back a couple of years. So if you're going to take a running back that high, you've got to be able to prioritize him, make sure that you're building around him. You get an O-line, you get a quarterback that's okay with not having the ball in his hands 20, 30 downs of play. I mean, it's got to be a priority for them, and that's unfortunately the issue, and the longevity too. So that's another reason why taking a running back in the top 10 is kind of risky. It's got to be a need now.
Yeah. That is fair for sure. All right, so 9. Kansas City Chiefs, Kenyon Sadiq, tight end, Oregon. I know they brought back Travis Kelce. That's clearly like the farewell tour. All right, so yeah, I mean, thoughts on Sadiq to the Chiefs?
Top 10 tight ends, like always.
If you would have said Sadiq at 29, I'd be like, yeah, I like that. That's a good pick. Kelce were what, 9 though? They don't even have a wide receiver 1.
I was gonna say, I feel like almost maybe if you're gonna go like offensive weapon, like you go Carnell Tate if he's still around. I don't think anybody's called his
all of the
yet.
top 2 receivers are still on the board in this.
Yeah, I'd just go top receiver at that point. Tight ends just have such a rough learning curve at the next level.
Yeah,
and not to mention, this is a really deep tight end class. You can get a starting level tight end in like round 3.
What's going on? Pacers think. Chiefs are going to try to replace McDuffie first. We know that he signed a big deal with the Rams. So throwing that out there. George said they are Rashee Rice, remember. Yeah. Ask OJ Howard how that went.
Well, even OJ Howard, he only went like 40th, or was it like late first, early second? That'd be more similar to taking like TJ Hawkinson because he went 8th, I want to say.
Yeah.
And he's a fine tight end, but not really top 10 level. Same with Kyle Pitts. Like most of the elite tight ends that go are usually like late round fallers. And then you got guys like Brock Bowers that are just demons.
Right. Trust me, you're talking to a show that's talked about Kyle Pitts a lot. I still didn't understand why the Falcons did it, but the Falcons are going through a phase where they were doing it like every year. Taking a guy at a luxury position when they needed edge rushers the whole time. So, look, and Pitts finally had a good year. Took him a couple of years. He finally had a good one, and then they franchise tagged him.
That's all right.
Well, I mean, based off his other years of production, like this year is the type of year you'd put him in the Hall of Fame for. Like he was, rookie year, I think he had 1 touchdown. He's consistent. I'll give him that.
Yeah,
1 touchdown every year, 2, 3, then 4, then 5. So, yeah. What's going on, Andre? Dolphins fans are in a rude awakening with Willis. We talked about last week. We all said that's where he was going to go. Hafley's there. It makes sense.
rest of the league is going to be in for a rude awakening with Willis. I will say though, I was kind of mad because when Tua got cut, I literally tweeted, I was like, "It's Quinn Ewers time, baby! Quinn Ewers season in Miami. We're gonna get a year." Because I was one of the biggest Quinn Ewers supporters last year. I had him like top 50 on my board as my QB too, and then he started like 2-3 games this year, and I saw flashes. I saw that potential. I'm like, he had a few picks in the Cincy game, but those weren't really his fault. He played well overall. And I was like, let's go. We're going to get a year of it. Because I was thinking that Willis was going to go to the Cardinals or the Vikings. I had heard the Dolphins with the Tua rumors. So I was like, nah, he's not going to go. It's Quinn Ewers season. I was coping a little bit. But yeah, I like Willis to the Dolphins. I think that'll be a nice little pickup. I have a lot of stock in Malik Willis. I was pushing him over Jordan Love a lot. I was trolling, but I was also not. And I'm going to be proven right this year. All right, Malik Willis, buy stock in him right now.
I'm about to say, with that statement, you're probably going to get some wrath from Brett, because on the show, Brett, Ian, and I, we talk about Jordan Love a lot because of kind of the conversations around him, especially this year, where it seemed like a lot of people are starting to doubt his ability. And I'm a fan of Jordan Love. Obviously, Brett is as a Packers fan, and Ian obviously looks at Jordan Love as a good young quarterback. I don't understand where all this is coming from, but hey, the NFL media they love to kind of pick on certain players. Jory said, "I'm very proud of Malik Willis."
Me too.
I mean, last season he definitely earned that money with the win over Baltimore. As soon as he got that, he knew he was going to cash in. So, yeah, good for him. Rounding out the top 10, Cincinnati Bengals. Mansour Delaney, cornerback, LSU.
I don't hate that. I was mocking Delane to the Bengals for a good little bit, but I've changed my opinion. I did some thinking on Delane because usually I'm a guy I like players that produce a lot, or not necessarily produce, but guys that are just good early and then maintain that. Like if a guy is good like as a freshman or a sophomore, and then has a down year as a junior or something like that, I'll usually give them more grace. And I'm usually lower in the opposite direction too. Like if a guy is kind of mid their first 2 years and then breaks out in year 3, especially now with the transfer portal where like they can just switch situations. LSU's known for like developing DBs very well. And it's like this could be a Linsanity run. It could be a Mickey Mouse season. Because like I even went back in 24 to Lame while I was watching my Castellanos, and I was like, yeah, this 24 version of him is like a 4th round pick at best. But you watch him in 25, and it's like this is a top 10 worthy pick. And like he has concerns like with the measurements. He's a little small. He has T-Rex arms, which can be overcome, but that does hurt you, especially as like a man corner. And he is really good in zone too. I think he's gonna be like limited to like only off coverages, which the Bengals did run a lot of like soft zones and shit with like DJ Turner, but they also like to press a little bit. I would prefer Terrell for the Bengals.
Okay.
But I wouldn't be mad at Delane. But if both of them are on the board, I would lean Terrell. But I don't hate it.
So before I get Brett and Ian in here, Andre asks, line Super Bowl window closing. Well, Brett will probably say it was never open.
I was
overrated.
It was never open.
Go ahead, Brett. Go ahead and say it.
It really kind of does feel like it though. It's one of those things that when you start to offensive linemen drop off like they have this offseason, it's very concerning. So we'll see, but if that pocket isn't 100% comfortable for Jared Goff, he gets a little shaky at times. So we'll see, but it's not looking good for the Lions right now.
Ian, is the window closed? You giving them a little hope?
I mean, I still think,
open a little bit for them.
I still think there's a little hope. I mean, they've got some good playmakers. I mean, Jamison Williams had a really good year last year. They still have Jahmyr Gibbs. They still have Amon-Ra. They still have Sam Laporta.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, they still have some good weapons offensively, but seeing them lose linemen, as good of linemen as they had, and they had having one of the top offensive lines in the league, and now losing a bunch of those pieces, it's not looking good. No.
Okay.
It's not
I mean,
looking good
good
until
question,
they
Andre.
get a factor in 17, and then it'll be all good for them.
Let's see. All right, so got through the top 10. I think going forward, I'll probably group some picks together and we'll kind of discuss it that way. So let's say 11 through 15. Dolphins, Carnell Tate, wide receiver, Ohio State. Cowboys, Avion Terrell, cornerback, Clemson. 13 to the Rams, Monroe Freeling, tackle from Georgia. 14 to the Raiders, Keldrick Falk, edge, Auburn. And then 15, CJ Allen, linebacker, Georgia. Okay, I see you shaking your head at that one. I guess you're a big CJ Allen fan.
Whenever it comes out that a 20-year-old is calling plays for a defense that's coached by one of the best defensive minds in the sport,
Okay.
that guy's good at football. That guy's not going to have a learning curve in the NFL. And CJ Allen is also a really good athlete. He does have some issues like disengaging blocks. He's not very strong. He's almost like a big safety playing linebacker. But like he has good coverage abilities. He's good like recognizing plays. He's
Mm-hmm.
good in like when he's playing runaway. He's good at like shuffle stacking. He's good at like fitting gaps. Sometimes he might overplay it a little bit. He's not bad in space or anything. It's just like it's small issues mainly. Like when you're comparing him to like Sony Styles is like the guy, like that's like the staple linebacker prospect. So it's good to like compare. Like he's smaller, he's weaker, he's probably still a little bit less athletic. That's just because Silas is a demon. But like he still has those athletic traits you want from a modern day linebacker. He's also good in coverage. He's almost like a discount Sonny Styles in a way, and that is a first round prospect. I have a mid first round grade on him, which in this class damn near gives you a top 10 grade.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been mocking him in the early to mid first all year. He's one of the linebackers I like a lot.
Any picks in that range? Brett, Ian, catch your eye. I know Brett, you were just talking about Carnell Tate. So to the Dolphins, what do you think?
Hey, I think that'd be a fine pickup for the Dolphins. They have a lot of holes to fill, but right now one of them is at wide receiver. You know, they parted ways with Tyreek, so I think that'd be. I wouldn't mind Tate to the Dolphins.
Okay, let's see. Ian, only because the Cowboys are in your division.
Mm-hmm.
Terrell, the corner from Clemson, to the Cowboys. Also go along with, I guess, what the Cowboys are doing, what Jerry's talking about. They're going to spend big. How worried are you about the Cowboys?
As long as Jerry's in charge, I'm not really that worried.
I figured that was going to be your answer. Gave you an alley-oop on that one.
He'll have like a couple of good.
But yeah, Terrell to the Cowboys. What do you think?
Terrell will be just fine in the NFL. I mean, he's going to be a great corner. It's going to be tough seeing him twice a year, but I don't think the Cowboys are going to retain him after his rookie deal. So, I only have to deal with it for 4 or 5 years, and then I'll forget about him.
Okay. All right.
One other thing before we move on to the next.
Yeah, go ahead.
Rams taking a tackle at 13 just feels very weird to me. Like, they don't really need tackle. Like, Alara Jackson has done a very good job the last few years. And I know Rob Havenstein retired, but, like, McClendon came in for, 10 games this year, and he also performed pretty well. I mean, I would understand taking one in, the second or third round, or if they didn't trade their second first, taking one there. Like a guy like Fano or – well, he's already gone in this six. But if a guy like that is available that can play tackle and guard, I'd be fine with that. But I don't really think offensive line is where I would look for the Rams, especially if Tyson and Lemon are available at 13. I go get one of those guys because Tay's old. I know they run a lot of 13 personnel, but their other receivers aren't really that good. It's Puka Tay and friends. And then Tay himself is old. He missed, what was it, like 3-4 games this year, and his injury problem is only getting worse. So I get a guy like that can sit behind Tay for a year, especially like Lemon and Tyson, because they're elite route runners. Especially like Tyson, kind of obviously much worse, but he I kind of see some of the movements with Tay whenever he's running certain routes. So I would get one of those guys because he can play outside. They can both. Lemon's more of a pure slot, but Tyson
Mhm.
has versatility playing inside and out. So I would rather get one of those guys or take CJ Allen because they still need a linebacker. They fill corner getting Jalen Watson and Trent McDuffie, but they can still use some linebackers. They can maybe get another safety later in the draft. But I just don't think tackle's worth taking at 13. And I like Freeling, but that just I don't know. Actually, no, I'm a Seahawks fan. I want them to take Freeland. That's a good pick.
Lemon and Puka, I mean, that'd be a generational duo. Appreciate the comment, Andre.
Generational slot merchants, maybe. Real receivers line up out wide.
I mean, you're just going to disrespect the slant god Michael Thomas for what he did in the slot?
He also
Oh, he was
lined
just
up
slant.
out wide. Not too much on my boy.
That's true.
Uh,
Yeah.
I think he's coming after your guy, Julian Edelman, Kyle.
Look
Yeah,
here.
if there's any Rams fans, I'm coming after your guy, Cooper
I'm
Kupp.
used to the Patriot hate. It's all good. It's all good. It is what it is. Edelman will be in the. I'm gonna get Edelman in the Hall of Fame. I'm gonna throw a party. It's gonna be great.
I don't know about
I
all
mean, it's
that.
better than what they're doing on the committee anyway. Why not let
He'll
me
get in the
in?
Ring of Honor. He'll make the Ring of Honor.
No. We're
You might
reaching
have to
higher.
wait for that,
We're
though.
reaching higher. Hall of Fame. He's got the Ring of Honor locked now. We're getting him in the Hall of Fame. Uh, Seahawks fan, you know all about Puka. I mean, any NFL fan,
I'm
any
hoping
NFL
you
fan
say
knows
that
about
about
Puka.
Puka.
The guy
Puka's
is
a
great.
monster.
Yeah. All right, so the next little batch here. All right, so the Jets' 16th pick, Jordan Tyson, wide receiver, Arizona State. 17 to the Lions, you got Caleb Lomu, tackle out of Utah. So another tackle from Utah going in the top 20. Okay. 18 to the Vikings, Dylan Finneman, safety, Oregon. 19 to the Panthers, Makai Lemon, wide receiver, USC. And then 20 to the Cowboys, Akeem Mesidor, edge, Miami. Which pick in there's got your attention, CEO?
I feel like I could talk about all of these picks, but I want to focus on Caleb Williams at 17. When you got to the Lions, I was like, this is obviously going to be Caden Proctor. It's been kind of talked about a lot, especially since they cut all the linemen and
Mm-hmm.
what's his name retired. I was like, yeah, obviously Proctor's going to go here, and I know people are kind of low on him because like he has the conditioning issues. He was really consistent throughout the year. At one point, he got up to like 380. He's fat, he's a slob, but at the same time, he's a mountain. He's got almost unmatched movement skills for a guy of that size. He has really good hands. He can be sloppy at times, and like he is a little lazy getting downfield in the run game. But the thing is, Alabama still used him in screens. They still let him pull a good little bit. Like if you watch I think it was the LSU game, he's pulling on like multiple times, like to where like you notice, oh, they're using him in space a good bit. They're running
Mm-hmm.
a lot of screens to Jeremy and Brooks, and that kind of shows he's not like your average Orlando Brown style tackle where he's just gonna do straight sets and he's just gonna down block all game. Like he has different movement, and that's why like he's the guy I've been talking about the Browns taking at 6. I know he won't go that high
Mm-hmm.
because of like the way he's being looked at. Like teams know they can get him lower, so they're not going to reach on him. But like just talent wise, I don't think there's a better offensive lineman in this draft. And with Caleb Lomo, he's the guy that like when my top 50 comes out later this week, I wasn't even really thinking about him. My issue with Lomo is that he's not really that big. Like he's like below average size for a tackle. He's got good movement skills, but like he's very weak. He has bad hand placement. He's consistently tall and wide with his hands. He's constantly shoulder punching and hugging. And I just think that he's a developmental project at best. Like, he's probably going to have to move into guard. Although a team will probably try him at tackle at first. And I think it's just going to look ugly. And I don't think that's the guy you would want on a team like the Lions who's trying to win now, especially because they have so many holes in the line. Well, I would rather get, because Malago is still on the board too, isn't he?
Did I not say him? Yeah, he is on the board. Yep.
Yeah, and that's the guy that's getting taught to go 3 to the Cardinals. And he's a guy that I would, if I'm gonna have a tackle guard like swing start, I would much rather have Nalgoa. Because he's strong. His hands are so violent. He has really good placement. He's not as good in space, which is why I think he might have to move to guard. But like, he has solid feet. He's not like the best athlete, but it's also not so bad that you can't play him at tackle. He has decent arm length. He's a big guy. He's a little bolder, and he's not short. He's 6'5.5", 6'6". And it, like, whenever I'm watching him compared to Lomu, it's just like, this looks more like an NFL tackle playing, and then Lomu looks more like a solid college guy that's like a career backup in the NFL that maybe starts for 1 year, and then he's on a slideshow 20 years from now.
Okay. Let's see. Well, I mean, Brett, you're probably loving the fact that the Lions are apparently throwing away a pick here. But I'm asking you about Thieneman from the Vikings, another team you love so much. What do you think about Thieneman in Florida's defense? They obviously need to replace Harrison Smith. So I guess, what do you think about the fit there with the Vikings at 18?
Yeah, I think it's actually think it's a solid pick, especially for Minnesota. Just it's always tough with them because they definitely need a quarterback, but you don't want to go reaching here. So I think getting more pieces for your defensive scheme is good. Say a lot to pick up on trying to learn under Flores, but overall I like it.
Let's see, Ian. What are your thoughts on Jordan Tyson to the Jets at 16?
I like Jordan Tyson. He does have a little bit of injury issues, but I do feel like he has a lot of flash, and he is very good when he is healthy. I don't necessarily know how well this is going to pan out for the Jets because of their quarterback situation. Mm-hmm. He's a great talent, but I don't know how I feel about them taking a wide receiver when they don't necessarily have a solid QB option. Granted, yes, you're going to want to have a room that's good, a wide receiver room that's good for a QB to flourish, but I don't know if this is necessarily the move for them to make right now, as they don't have a QB that's going to make the correct throws and going to be able to carry them even with a talented wide receiver room. So,
I mean, I agree with you. Look, until the Jets get a quarterback, I'm not worried about them.
Until Woody Johnson dies, I'm not worried about the Jets.
Look, Woody Johnson's adapting, okay? He's using Madden.
Using Madden ratings to sign players.
He's adapting to the times.
Yeah.
Madden knows.
Yeah, exactly. We play it all the time. There's nothing wrong with the game. The ratings are perfect. He's on the right track, okay? Let Woody cook. Where's grandson? Whoever's giving him the information, we know he's not playing.
He's playing franchise and downloading the next draft rosters to see how people are rating them, and then he's going to base his draft off of that.
Woody's out there just
draft classes.
Woody's out there
for this guy
playing online. He's online number one player, just acting as just a normal guy. It's Woody Johnson.
Yeah. I drafted this guy named Charles Demmings. He's an 82 overall in this draft class. I'm gonna take him at 2. Yeah, that's a steal. Why is no one talking about this guy? Look at his Madden rating.
Exactly. Let's see. I was looking to see if there was anything else that happened. Okay, there's a couple of deals. So take a break here just to get your thoughts on some. try to see what's the big ones here, though. Okay, so, well, Ian, this one's for you.
Mhm.
Isaiah Hodgins re-signed with the Giants. I'm sure you're throwing a parade.
Yeah. He's got sure
Uh,
hands. I don't have an issue with him.
yeah,
That's a solid wide receiver 3, wide receiver 4.
Yeah.
Reed Blankenship, 3-year deal to the Texans.
Oh, that's a good pickup.
Okay. Kendrick Bourne to the Cardinals. So the Niners lose another wide receiver. I feel like they'll be all right.
Yeah, that's a
Braxton
good pickup.
Jones back to the Bears on a 1-year deal. Let's see. Quincy Williams to the Browns. Well, they agreed to terms there. That's their Devin Bush replacement.
It doesn't really matter who your linebackers are when you have that front four. Even Myles Garrett, the rest of them will just fall in line.
Right. Yeah.
Just don't be like noticeably bad, and you'll be fine.
Right. Yeah. With all the attention that they take as a linebacker, the play should be there for you. I mean, look, Schlesinger had like 400 tackles last year. There's a reason why. And Titans got ex-Giant center Austin Schlottman to a 2-year deal. So Titans needed a center. They got a center. I mean, Ian, I guess you can tell Titans fans about Schlottman.
Not much to say.
There we go. Okay. All right. So look at the next slate of picks. Got some big names in this group, so I will be interested to see what you guys think. So 21, Pittsburgh Steelers. They have Denzel Boston, wide receiver from Washington. I know that they literally just got Michael Pittman today, so I don't know about that, but that's the mock we got here. The Chargers. Okay, the first thing I'm gonna probably butcher. We'll just say loan the interior lineman from Penn State. I'm not attempting that first name.
He said he's fine being called Vega. Just say Vega. It's hard to say that
That's
for
what I'm
him.
rolling with. I probably would have done that anyway. So we'll go Vega, loan, interior lineman, Penn State, Chargers. 23. CEO, you mentioned this guy. Eagles, Caden Proctor, tackle out of Alabama.
Oh, that's a fantastic pick right there.
I mean, Howie seems to do that. 24 to the Browns, Omar Cooper Jr., wide receiver out of Indiana. And then 25 to the Bears, Caleb Banks, D lineman out of Florida. What are your thoughts on that group? Well, I mean, you just said Caden Proctor to the Eagles would be a fantastic pick for them. Didn't they have what? Lane Johnson leave? So
Yeah, I think Johnson said he's considering retirement, but he's probably going to play one more year, and then he'll be gone.
right,
And
yeah.
because he missed
You
half the
gotta think
year
about
already,
linebacker.
and then they'll either move either Proctor or Mailata to right tackle, and then because Mailata's already one of the best tackles in the league. And then Proctor's the guy I was already talking about him a little bit. That's a guy I think can also have that all-pro potential. He's not quite the same as Lane Johnson. They're different builds, different styles, but I would like him as a replacement for Lane Johnson for sure.
Okay.
And then
Brett,
121.
they have Denzel Boston, but like I said, they did get Pittman today.
Yeah, that is true. Even if they didn't have Pittman, I would not like that pick. Boston's a guy
Okay.
I'm relatively low on. Like he's the guy I'm looking more as like a mid second rounder, maybe early third. Like he's probably going to be like mid to high 40s on my board because like he does have good ball skills. I think he'll be like really good on like the contested catch situations, but he's just not like a really good athlete for a receiver. Like getting in and out of breaks, he kind of struggles. Like he's decent on like crossers, but like whenever he's running like curls or comebacks or double moves, he's a little stiff there. His hips aren't too flexible. He takes multiple steps. He kind of beats the drum a little bit whenever he's getting out of routes.
Mm-hmm.
But he's not the best yak guy. Like he's fine. He's decent, especially for a taller guy. But it's not much of a talking point. It's not something that like you're really gonna like be drafting him for. The main thing you want with him is those ball skills. Like in the Michigan game, he ran a double move post, and then Williams throws the ball behind him, and he mosses the DB, catching it like this, turning his back. It wasn't crazy body. It's weird for like a guy that's like it's hard for him to get in and out of breaks. He makes some crazy body angles on some catches. He did it against Washington State, then the bowl game against Boise State. Like I do think he'll be a solid deep threat just because he makes 50-50 balls, 70-30 balls for the offense, which is a good thing to have. But at the same time, that's something that's like it's limited. It's something that you want from a top end guy, but it can't be the only thing you have. Like that's something that like George Pickens was even struggling with early in his career, where like he's best hands in the league, one of the best jump ball guys, but like wasn't really good after the catch, not a very good separator. And then he put it together this year, but that's also a better prospect than Denzel Boston anyway. But like I would have rather had, especially now with Michael Pittman, I'd rather have like Omar Cooper or Jeremy Bernard or my guy Zachariah Branch, but I know we're not going to hear him in this. That's a guy I'm hella high on.
Yeah.
But it could be worse. You could take Caleb Lomo. So it's not the worst pick so far.
I mean, when you said all that, all I can think is sounds like a guy Aaron Rodgers probably freezes out 4 weeks in.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay. So Brett, I'm asking you, Omar Cooper to the Browns. I feel like we talked about the Browns already, but look, Omar Cooper, we saw make that crazy catch. Went up, got his feet down the back of the end zone. So he obviously has good body control and everything like that. Would he automatically walk in to Cleveland and probably be the number one guy? I know they have Jerry Jeudy, but
If Judy stops hating his life, then no, but probably will.
Oh, Brett, you're muted.
Say like probably ends up being the number one, but it might take him a couple weeks. I don't know. Maybe I'm just hating on Jerry Jeudy too much, but I think he would win it in relatively short order.
Okay. Let's see. In the Proctor pick, since once again that's your division.
Mm-hmm.
How much would you hate to see Caden Proctor in Philly green?
See, the thing that I hate about the Eagles is that they always tend to be like really like late first round picks, and they always find some guy that's just falls into their lap. That's a perfect fit for their system. The Eagles have one of the best, if not the best, offensive line coaches in the entire league. Having Caden Proctor here, that's kind of a developmental piece. Perfect fit for them. If Lane Johnson stays another year, even better, because then you don't have to slide him in right away. And he can learn from Lane Johnson and the O-line coach, and they'll be just fine.
So Elijah says, how's the pod going? We're having a good time talking free agency and some mock drafts. All right, so I have the last batch of the first round here. The Bills at 26 take Zion Young, edge out of Missouri. The Niners at 27, Max Inhenekor, the tackle out of Arizona State. I butchered that last name. My bad. 28, Texans Blake Miller, tackle out of Clemson. We know that they've been shipping out linemen, so we'll go with that. 29, the Chiefs. Concepcion, the wide receiver out of Texas A&M. I mean, you talk about the Chiefs need a number one. There's a wide receiver for you. 30, the Broncos taking Caden McDonald, D lineman, Ohio State.
So Malago is still available at 31. Wow.
Who?
Francis Malagoa from Miami.
Yeah. All right, so 31, Patriots. Emmanuel McNeil Warren, safety out of Toledo.
Like that.
32 to the Seahawks. Jermon McCoy, cornerback, Tennessee. So this mock has your guy, Francis, as the best available going into the second round.
That's interesting. And like I'll talk about Seattle since that's my team a little bit here. I'll say this. since Tariq Woolen's looking like he's not coming back, I would not be mad. Obviously, corner would probably be one of the top positions to take. And McCoy is a guy that I have in that like early mid first range. Like I could see him going to I think I actually mocked him going 10th this morning when I did my mock draft. But like at the same time, it's like he hasn't played football in over a year. He didn't test at the combine because he said he didn't feel physically right. He said he's going to test at the pro day, which I really want to see. I want to see how he's moving.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you look at the 24 film, it's really good. Like, if we assume he has no medical red flags, you could make a pretty good argument he's the best corner in this class. He's really, really good in zone. His zone instincts are insane. There was one game against Alabama in 24 where he's playing cover 3, and his deep drop, I think it was a slot or a tight end, comes in, runs like an out route, and he is able to pick the ball off in like scramble mode. And it's like a crazy break on the ball. He's like an elite tier athlete. He has good instincts. I think he's not the best in like on ball pressing. He's good at getting his hands in the hips when he's like already gone through the route and he's like recovering, or he's like 5-10 yards deep. But whenever he's at the line, his hand usage isn't very good. He gets beat off the line of scrimmage a good little bit. He's just such a good athlete. He can recover, and it doesn't even look like he lost initially. And he's fine in the run game, but not the best. So it at 32, I'd be fine with it because I mean at that late, you can get the high upside guy. We have two solid. Witherspoon's pretty good, and then Joby's a solid CB2. So maybe he still has to rehab a little bit, and then by like year 2 or 3, he could be another Pro Bowl, All Pro corner for us, which I would really like. Me personally, I don't want Anthony Bradford on my team anymore. And if Francis Malago was there at 32, that's a guy I think has all pro guard potential. I think you probably start him as a tackle. I think he can be a solid tackle, but I think he can be like one of the best guards in the league for a good amount of time. And I think like I usually have been mocking him in like the 12 to 16 range. I've had a few where I've had him go like early single or like low single digits. Had some where he's gone like high 20s, but not going in the first round feels like a lot. And I especially because I've heard a lot of people saying like he's like meeting with like the Cardinals to go 3 or meeting with the Bucks to go 15. Like 32 just seems a little bit of a stretch, especially guys like Lomu and Fano are going over him. And early too, like that seems like a lot because like a lot of teams late there, like the Pats could use more offensive line, Seattle could use interior, even what are they called? The Texans that'd be a perfect spot for him at 28. And they did get Blake Miller, which I don't hate that at all. He's a guy I have as like a French first rounder. He's a solid tackle, and they did just move off of Titus Howard, so they can move Ursery back to right tackle where he's more comfortable. And or they could even move Miller inside to guard because he is on the smaller side for a tackle, and he's a really good mover. So like I don't hate that at all, but like it'd be a situation like you'll look back, but like, yeah, I'm fine that we have Blake Miller, but we could have had Malago, and I was like, I wish we would have had that guy instead.
Okay. All right. Look, hey, we know crazy things can happen. A lot of these will change. So Brett, I guess what do you think about the Chiefs possibly taking Kevin Concepcion, the wide receiver from A&M? Especially at 29, late in the first round. How do you feel about the fit? Do you think that's where they probably should go with it?
It feels like that probably go a different direction than another wide receiver. Because no, the Dolphins took Tate in this one.
Yeah.
For some reason in my head, I thought they did. So then, honestly, at that point, then you do need to come out here at some point with a weapon out at wide receiver. So I think this.
Well, let's say that this one had the Chiefs take Sadiq with their first pick.
Yeah, that's fine.
Take a tight end and a wide receiver in the first round. They're 2 picks.
I'm fine with them going receiver here.
Okay.
My only issue taking Concepcion there, especially when you took Sadiq at 9, is KC's going to be like a pure slot in the NFL.
Okay.
And the Chiefs already have guys that are like good in the slot, like Rasheed and Worthy. Like they play outside out of necessity, but those are guys you want in the slot. I feel like they would need to go get like a more outside receiver. Like I would rather have what's his name? Jeremy Bernard, although he's also probably going to be more of a slot guy. I think he can play outside. Or even but Denzel Boston went already, so I guess I can't say him. But like, there's other guys I'd probably prefer to KC. Like, I do think he can go in this range, but I don't know if the Chiefs are necessarily the fit. Like, even sorry, he isn't a guy I would take this high, but like, if I'm the Chiefs and I'm just trying to get a receiver to work for our system, I'd rather have a guy like that, like an outside, like go up and get it type guy. I don't think you need another gadgety, smaller, speedy yak guy. I already have 4 of those. Don't need a seventh.
Let's see here. So Ian, I guess what do you think about? I guess the Niners here taking the tackle from Arizona State. Kind of looking at the Niners as a whole, I feel like they're a team that you could ask probably the same question about that we asked about the Lions. Their Super Bowl window. Like where are you kind of gauging that with the Niners right now?
I mean, they always seem to find a way to be competitive, even with injuries. Kyle Shanahan's a great head coach. He's a great play caller. His quarterbacks that he has, I mean, Mac Jones and Brock Purdy were both very comfortable in the pocket this year, able to be very competitive for the Niners. So I don't really mind them going at tackle at this spot. Might not be the best prospect, but he's not bad at all. So I wouldn't mind it, but yeah.
I mean, I feel like the Niners are that team that we kind of doubt every year. In most years, they kind of find their way there at the end. But I guess for this comment here, so Live Juice, the mock draft had Denzel Boston. CEO wasn't a fan of that. I guess remind Live Juice, if you were picking there for the Steelers at 21, who would you take?
Who would I take for the Steelers?
Yeah, because we not like I said, you didn't like the Denzel Boston pick, but who would you take at 21?
In the mock that I did this morning, now remember this was before free agency started. Yeah. I had them taking Dalen Everett out of Georgia to be the cornerback to JPJ, but obviously they just signed Jamel Dean, and he's going to lock that up. I had other mocks. Usually I had them taking one of Casey Concepcion or Jeremy Bernard out of Alabama. Those are guys that I feel like would fit better, especially if they keep Rodgers around for another year. I like those guys more because, like, with Rodgers, especially as he's older, he's not trying to like throw it as far. He's more of a game manager at this point. That's where you would want like the speedy, gadgety slot receiver that you can just manufacture yak for and just have him go and have more yards after the catch than before. Whereas like Boston doesn't really fit that as well, and I just think Concepcion's like a better player. At the same time, he also has the return juice that gives him a little bit extra value that you can do early in his career. But yeah, that would probably have him go receiver, or even you could have if like one of the tackles fall, like if Proctor, Malagoa, and there's someone like that is still available. I wouldn't be mad if they took one of them.
Okay. So I will say for this one also, their best available, like I said, Francis Mauga is their one. Peter Woods, D lineman out of Clemson.
I didn't even realize he wasn't off the board yet. What the hell?
He's their second best available. Cassius Howell, the edge out of A&M. TJ Parker, edge out of Clemson. And then their fifth quarterback, Ty Simpson, Alabama.
Those first 4 guys that I've had go first round in almost all of my mocks. And like Woods and Malago, I don't really see the argument for not being first round. Like with how I can see it, Like if tackle and receiver and like defensive tackle go have runs, and if the
Mhm.
three safeties go in the first round, I could see how slip into the early second. But I don't think it's necessarily egregious. Parker's the guy that I have in that like mid first round range. Like in the mock I did this morning, I think I had him going 14.
Okay.
No, I had him going 15. Yeah, to the Bucks. I usually have him in like the mid to late teens, early 20s. I had one where I had the Eagles trade up and take him at 21. But like with Simpson, that's a guy where, yeah, that's a round two player. That's a guy I don't really think should go round one. But the other four, I'm like, huh. I feel like those are guys that should definitely go in the first.
Let's see. Dylan T from Oregon, the safety, could really help us too. Yeah, this mock had him going pretty. Or where was he?
Yeah, I had him at 18, right? To the Vikings.
Yeah, 18 to the Vikings. It said Hope Mansour falls. Yeah, well, I mean, they like Mansour all the way up at 10 to the Bengals, so he'd have to fall a little bit for you there, Juice. But I guess with that mock down, I do want to ask this question. Looking at the free agency day one, who's a team that you think it's kind of hard to go winners losers on the first day, but whose free agency are you really liking right now? Not calling them a winner, but you like the day that they've had so far.
I'll say this: I don't care how much you pay him. When you get the best player in free agency, and he is the biggest need on your team, and he directly helps the guy you picked 6 overall last year. I don't really care that you're paying him $10 million more a year than the second highest paid player, even though he's a lot better at football. You got to go out and get it done. And the Raiders have the most cap space in the league anyway. Like, yeah, they overpaid on Quay Walker. Yeah, Jalen Rager's not a wide receiver too, and he's probably gonna have to be that, and probably won't look that good.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I like it when a team that's rebuilding, they're in a new regime, has the number one pick. I like it when they're being aggressive. They're not just like throwing money at nobody. Well, Jalen Rager, they kind of are. But like they re-signed Eric Stokes before free agency started, and then like Linderbaum, that's a perfect signing. Like, could not have a better fit. Like their offensive line is gonna look night and day because they only had one good offensive lineman, and that was Jackson Powers Johnson playing right guard. And now they have two, and the other one's a center. And Genty likes to run it up the middle, inside, and I really like that combination. I think the Raiders' offense is going to look a lot better this year just off of that alone. And then they also made, like, I'm a big Nakobe Dean guy. They
Mm-hmm.
got him for 3 years, 12 mil a year. I think that we could look back at that deal by the time he's up for an extension and be like, how did they get him for that much, for that small of a contract?
Okay.
So that they would be an early winner for me.
Okay. Yeah, because Juice is saying he likes what the Raiders are doing. He's also looking at the 49ers and what they've done. Brett Ian?
49ers would be on my losers list for sure. You paid a 33-year-old coming off of broken collarbones at $60 million. That is like Mike Evans 49ers just sounds like the next slideshow of washed athletes. Go ahead and put them on there. And as a Seahawks fan, I love it. Best signing of the day. A+. 10 out of 10. Would not recommend.
Brett Ian, I guess, a team or a signing, we'll kind of expand it to that caught your eye from today.
Yeah, no, like I said, I was just gonna kind of shout out what the Raiders are doing. They're being aggressive at key important spots. Say at the end of the day, they decided to go of and beyond and get Linderbaum, and rightfully so. So I think that was a great move, and that'll just overall help. Obviously just not just Mendoza, but maybe Genty won't get killed 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage every step of the way now.
Yeah, maybe he won't have more yards after contact than total yards this year.
That was one of the crazy stats of the year.
Could you name 15 better wide receivers for 1 year?
1 year than Mike Evans.
Like current Mike Evans, 15.
feel like that's
All
what
right.
he's saying for going into next year. Name
Yeah,
fear.
going into the how they are right now. You
Yes.
remember, Mike Evans played 8 games and had 300 receiving yards, and a third of them came in one game against the Panthers. Remember
Yeah.
that when I'm naming these
Mhm.
players. I'll only name 20. I can name like 40, but I'll only name 20 for you. JSN, Puka, Chase, Jettis, AJ Brown, Drake London, George Pickens, CD Lamb, Amon Ra, T. Higgins, Devontae Smith. Who else? Who else plays football? Uh, Luther Burden, Ted McMillan, Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave,
Odunze.
uh, hell, even Stephon Diggs and Kayshon Butte were better this year. Uh, who else? The first time ever, yeah, but like that first time is what matters because he's old. He was 32 this year, turning 33, and he's coming off his worst injury of his career. And like, yeah, I'm sure he'll produce better this year than last year. But at the same time, I don't think we're getting another 1,000 yard, 10 touchdown season from Mike Evans again. Like, if anything, I would bet that he probably misses 5 or 6 games this year. He's got to remember the Niners practice next to a fucking nuclear reactor. All their players get hurt every year. So if anything, he might not even play a game for the Niners. He's going to tear his ACL in training camp. If anything,
That's
like if
definitely
you're
what.
talking about peak Mike Evans, yeah, a lot of those guys aren't. Oh, Tay's another one that's better. Uh, there's plenty of guys I'm forgetting, but like he's not even a top 32 receiver anymore. Now, if he goes back to his 2024 ways, which isn't like there's not a 0% chance that happens, but I would say it's a lot more likely that he looks washed on the Niners and we look back very unfavorably of that contract than him looking like 23, 22, 24 Mike Evans or like, oh, that was a steal of a deal for Mike Evans.
Say no, that's fair. I did find that contract interesting. I figured, especially with his agent coming off injury, like he is. I didn't when I heard the reports of Mike Evans, like, oh, he might get 27. Like, I thought that was wild, and even him getting the just the 20 or 22 a year that he got, that's still pretty wild to me.
Yeah, it's one of those things where like I get why they have to be aggressive because the window is closing. Your stars are getting old. There's talks they're gonna trade Trent Williams. Niners fans are still calling for Shanahan's head for no reason. So it's like I get being aggressive, taking a swing on a guy that's older, coming off a down year, but he's put up 12 straight 1,000 yard seasons. So I get it. That's why like when I was doing my free agency track, and I think I graded it as like a C, because like there is a chance that he could go back to being a French top 10 receiver in the NFL. And we're like, oh wow, they got the 12th best receiver in the NFL for $10 million a year less than Alec Pierce for half as much money overall. That's a steal of a contract. Like I think that's possible, but at the same time, I think I'm going to be laughing at that contract as a Seahawks fan for the next few years.
Okay. Um, only because we usually are about an hour and a half coming up on it. So I will say, CEO, you know you did your mock draft. Give us like a pick or two, maybe kind of sneaky sleeper picks that you have on your big board that people need to be paying attention to when the draft comes around.
Yeah, I'll give you a pick from like each range. I'll give you like one of the top 10 picks, one of my middle round picks, one of the later picks, and then
Okay.
since I'm a Seahawks man, I'll tell y'all who I had us picking. Uh, Ian, you're a Giants fan. I had y'all taking Sonny Styles at 5. We talked about him a little bit. Y'all just cut Bobby Okereke. I think y'all signed Tremaine Edmonds, so
Yeah, we
that
did.
does fill that need because y'all do run a lot of like dime sets and y'all use safeties in the box a lot. So linebackers not like a huge need, but Sonny Styles plays literally everything. He has like 500 snaps at like every position that's not corner in his career. So he's a guy I think like he can probably play edge on obvious passing downs in the NFL. He's obviously a 3 down linebacker. He can play in the slot. He's an overhang guy. Hell, I'm sure if you needed him to for a little bit, he could probably go back and play deep safety because that's what he was playing at Ohio State before they moved him to linebacker because they had Caleb Downs. So I mean, there's just not much he can do. So I feel like that's a pretty easy pick when you don't need a lot of the premium positions. You have any thoughts on that?
I think it's a great pick.
Number 8, because we talked about him being one of the best available at day 2. Just to give you an idea of where my head has been at.
Mhm.
At 8, I had the Saints taking Peter Woods. Now, I know I am a little bit higher on him than the consensus. Like the consensus boards have him like low 20s, high teens. And like there's talks that he might be available like in the late first round just because defensive tackles usually don't go super high. But this is a weaker class, and Peter Woods is like the new age defensive tackle where he's on the lighter side, but he's got really good burst, very violent hands. Like in the Boston College game, he's just throwing Logan Taylor around, and that's a future NFL starter, I think, for a long time. And he's making him look like a little kid out there. He was doing it in the LSU game too. He was doing it against what's their name? FSU as well. Like, I think he's a really good run stopper, and he's such a good athlete as a defensive tackle that's 290 pounds. Like they were lining him up as an edge in 24, and he was still producing. He had like 8 sacks playing half his reps at edge and he's a defensive tackle. He's a guy that I'm really high on. I think he has major upside, and with the Saints having Brissy, who's a weak run stopper and a good pass rusher, I think that'd be a good duo. I think they would work well together. And I think he's someone that just helps out that run defense a lot, which they could use. And then in the mid first round, I had sorry about that, but in the mid first round, I had the Rams taking Mekhi Lemon. I had the Buccaneers taking TJ Parker, who was another guy that didn't even go in the first round. And then I had at 19, I had the Panthers take Keldrick Fogg. Did we hear him get drafted in that mock? Did he go?
Yes, he went 14 to the Raiders.
Okay, yeah, that's a fine take. I wouldn't be mad at that. Because with Falk, like the big thing a lot of people were saying was, oh, he's a bad pass rusher. He has no moves. He does nothing. And like that is true. He's probably gonna be a bad pass rusher to start out. But he's also such a good run stopper. And he's 6'4", 280. He has long arms. He's athletic for a guy his size. Like he can legitimately play 3 tech and he can still line up as an actual edge. He's really good at setting the edge. He's really good in the run game. He's really good at reacting. Like Auburn even had him 2-gapping a little bit, like playing like a 4-eye 3 tech, and he's like doing it well. He had some bad games, and 25 was a down year overall. But with a guy that has that frame and has those athletic traits and is shown to be such a quality run stopper at so young, because he's also like barely 21 years old. I think he just turned 21. Like he's not old either. Like he's a third-year player. I think that's a guy that, like, yeah, he probably won't ever be an elite pass rusher, probably won't ever be a good pass rusher, but at the same time, he's a good enough run stopper. And I don't think he's going to be like a horrific, like he's just dragging down your pass rushing just so much that you can't play him. I think the run stopping makes it worth it on a team like the Panthers or the Lions or even the Raiders now that they don't have Max Crosby. They're like, you can take him in like the mid-late first round, bet on the upside. Because if he does like improve some moves, because like he has solid bend, his hands aren't that bad. They're strong. It's just his technique isn't the best. If you can teach him like a rip move and like maybe a spin, he can be a solid pass rusher, and then he's an elite run stopper. So that's a guy that I like in the mid first round. And then what else did I say? Oh yeah, and this one I had Caden Proctor going 17, but I generally have him going pretty high. And then in the late first round, I had the Browns because at 6 I had them taking Jordan Tyson. So at 24 I had them taking Monroe Freeling out of Georgia. Because if they can't get Proctor, that's the next best left tackle on the board, in my opinion. And that's a tall guy, sound pass blocker. can do different type of drops and still be good. He has good feet, and he's also a taller guy. He's like 6'7". He's on the lighter side for a guy that big. I think it's like 320. He has really good feet. He can get a little bit stronger. Sometimes his feet are a little wide, but I like his hand placement. He can improve in the run, but like he's good at down blocks. He gets to the second level well. He just needs to work on like finishing those blocks, really throwing guys out the way. Because like Georgia didn't use him as much as like in space as Alabama uses Proctor, but I still think he can develop into that. He's a little bit more developmental, I would say, but I think he has good traits to where you can take him, especially if it's in the late first in the draft like this, and you can be happy with that day.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, look, that like I said, we usually go about hour and a half, so we're kind of up against it. But I look, this is just the beginning. Obviously, we're into that point where free agency obviously will continue. We'll have more to talk about it with that next week, and as we get closer to the draft as well, we'll probably see more of these and everything like that. So we'll definitely talk more mock drafts and all that for the weeks to come. But CEO, appreciate you coming on for sure. Like a lot of knowledge, learned a lot. Let the people know where they can find like your stuff. Let them know.
Well, I've been posting on my Substack. I made that in January. The OTB, I had to put a 4 in there. Just had to put a number. 4 is the number for an OTB, so I put that the OTB4.substack.com. That's where you can find me. I've been doing a free agency tracker. I have to update that after I'm done with this. And
Mm-hmm.
hours that I haven't been able to work on that while I was doing this, which this is fun. I'm glad I got a break from it. Like I said, I was spending all day stressing, like updating, and then 4 more guys. I got to fill them in. And then you can also find me on Twitter at CEO. Wait, let me make sure because I changed my name. Let me make sure I have it exactly right.
Right. Can't have you
Yeah,
shouting out somebody else.
for RPO enjoyers. That's my Twitter handle. That's where you can also find me. I'll be talking about the draft and free agency a little bit. You can see some of my Oscar Delp and Harold Perkins propaganda on there.
Okay.
Yeah, thank y'all for having me on. This is a nice little 2 hours.
No, look, definitely appreciate you coming on. Brett, let the people know what they can look forward to later tonight.
Yeah, you can talk some wrestling with Mo and I. We'll be talking Elimination Chamber since we didn't get to it last week and just updated in the world of wrestling. So, yeah.
All right. Yeah. Wrestling fans, you got to come back and check them out. They will get you update on everything. Elimination Chamber as well as going forward in the world of wrestling. All right, Ian, anything you want to add? Your happiness with the Giants. How happy are you after day one?
I mean, we filled in the hole with Tremaine Edmonds, Isaiah Likely. I mean, Isaiah Likely has some flashes. He can be pretty good receiving threat for the Giants. So, not too happy that we spent $40 million, but it's another weapon, I guess. Yeah, the price of business. Yeah, but yeah, that's about
a
it.
wide receiver too now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I probably should let you say, Brett. Like, what do you think about the Packers so far?
Yeah, well, it's offseason just kind of going how I figured it would be. We re-signed Sean, Runyon to 3 years, $33 million, which I'm fine with. We're losing we're losing a good amount of people, but it's literally nobody that I didn't expect. Like we're gonna lose Rasheed Walker, Romeo Dobbs, but can only gotta just keep adjusting. So overall, though, I do like that we did re-sign Runyon.
Okay. I will say I'm fine with the Draymond Jones signing by the Patriots. Waiting for them to do a little bit more, but I will take that for day one. And before we get out of here, a couple of signings that happened, nothing too big, so nothing groundbreaking. Kyle Allen will be Josh Allen's backup in Buffalo. I know, get the parade scheduled. And the Giants have signed Ardarius Washington, safety.
The Steelers also just signed Rico Dowdle. It's like the last running back off the market.
Okay. I mean, yeah, they've been pretty active today. But yeah, so all of you tuning in, greatly appreciate it. Make sure you're back here next week. We'll talk more free agency. We'll probably get back into the NBA as well, and anything else that kind of happens across the sports world. So make sure you check out the other shows on the network, like Meaty Boys coming up after. You got Coffee and Sports in the morning. I'm back on here Friday, Passion and Precision with Jory and Key. Make sure you check us out then. That's it. That's all I got for you. So till next week, enjoy the rest of your week. We'll see you next week. All right. Bye.
Oh, real quick,
Go ahead.
Juice said that he had a podcast and he was wondering if any of us would be one to collab. I won't speak for the rest of y'all, but I'm a nomad person. I don't have my own podcast. I still got to set one up. I got to do that. But yeah, I'd be down to talk some football, talk some NFL draft, maybe some free agency. Be fine with me. Just hit me on my Twitter that I plugged at CEO_RPO enjoyers and let me know, and I'll be down to do that.
I mean, I guess I'll say, I guess Live Juice. I guess trying to see the easiest way for him to like reach out to us if he wanted to, but I just leave a comment and we'll kind of reach out to you, like under the video on Twitch.
Yeah, I just saw the comment on there. He had just
Yeah, no,
posted it.
I'm glad
I
you
feel like
pointed
at
that
least
out.
saying something so he doesn't feel like we're ignoring him.
Yeah, absolutely. So Juice will, I guess, reach out to you under Twitch and get it going. Probably the easiest way. I don't know, but yeah. So we'll talk to you all next week. All right, bye. Oh, okay. He's asked where do we go to contact? Well, so CEO, give him the Twitter again.
Yeah.
Yours.
I'm not connected to my YouTube on here, so I can't like chat. But my Twitter handle is at all caps CEO _ all caps RPO and then capital E enjoyers, and then the rest is undercase.
Yeah.
And then the profile picture is a play art of an RPO.
Okay, makes perfect sense. But
yeah, I had to do it. It's in the name.
I mean, yeah, you got it. It's just.
Or you can also go to my Substack, the otb4.substack.com, and then you can leave a chat there after you've followed me. You can also do that too if you want to contact me. Either works. I check both. What's up, yeah.
Okay, there you go. All right, so now, well, Juice, hopefully you're back here next week. Check us out again. But yeah, so until next week, for myself, not guarding the 2, guarding the 3, Brett, Ian, the Giants fan, and the Brewers fan. I like the Brewers, so I'm not gonna give you anything over that. I like the Brewers as well. And then CEO, appreciate you stopping by. So we're out of here. Good night.
I'm happy